law enforcement's constant struggle to arrest dealers and distributors, an overdose is considered ground zero, a point from which they can work upstream, attempting to piece together the individuals and exchanges that led to the overdose.
We kind of attack it in 4 different ways. We've created what's called an Overdose Squad. Their sole purpose is to start from ground zero and investigate up and take it back to the actual dealer. And there are enough overdoses out there that when we send agents to each one of these overdoses, a lot of times the intelligence comes together from multiple people and starts to paint a better picture for us.
The New York Times recently covered a similar approach, where a single agent, starting from the fatal fentanyl overdose of an 18-year-old, followed a trail through multiple dealers and suppliers, all the way back to a manufacturer in China.
And additionally, we have what's called a parcel unit. They go after a completely separate part of this problem, the supply chain. They get up every morning at 5 o'clock and they're out there on the UPS, FedEx. Most people believe that we have dogs that sit by the conveyor belts and they smell the packages as they go by. We just pull off the one the dog smelled. But that's not how it works. These packages, people that have never been to a FedEx facility or a UPS facility have no idea how many packages are going through. There are thousands going through by the minute. And the fact is that even if we're really good at our job, 8 or 9 out of 10 of those packages are always going to get through. A lot of times they're just being seized. We're taking it out of the supply chain and destroyed at evidence. But every now and then there's enough information on the box that they'll do a delivery and they'll follow it up and they actually will make some arrests. There are other ways to put people in jail than just getting them for fentanyl. The federal attorneys are starting to target some of these dealers for homicide charges. You have to convince the jury that it's the dealer's fault. And it only takes one person on the jury to believe that the victim injected himself, it's his own fault, and I'm not gonna place the blame on the dealer. We know in the end that they're not going to be able to prosecute enough people for homicide to make that the only deterrent. So we continue to attack the street dealers, just our regular, everyday drug agents that work in an undercover capacity, and they'll pretty much go anywhere. So as law enforcement, we're always chasing, we're always a step behind. And when we do get to the point where we almost catch them, they just evolve into the next world.
Next episode, we'll hear from an informant and undercover agent who describe how participating in the process of buying drugs leads to arrests.
Drug dealers out there can hear this if you're watching, is that everybody you've ever sold to is a potential informant.